Το πατώ. Hi everyone. Can you hear me? Για πήγαινε, δεν πήγαινε κανείς. Πού πας?
Πήγαινε.
Εδώ.
Να φέρω αυτό που πήγαινε.
Hi. Can you hear me? Awesome. All right. Hi. All right, everyone. Hi. Welcome to the live drawing session. I think there is a little bit of delay already, but since you can hear me clear, that's cool. So I'm planning to do today about an hour or so and draw some poses with you, and let's see how this goes, how many people will actually join or not join. And yeah, we'll have to see if it's going to be more than 1 hour or not. So I've prepared some of the reference pictures here, and I'm just gonna start drawing around, and if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat, and I have here my lovely wife prepared to ask me the questions that she's in the chat, so I don't have to follow the chat all the time. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So let's slowly start drawing, and let's see how this goes. So it's just hi Alphanova Gaming. Welcome to the live drawing session. So I'm just as I said before, my wife will follow up on the chat, and we'll just will inform if there are any questions in the chat. So I'm just I found this awesome references from Graphic Studio, and I'm just gonna use them just to you know, practice some poses here, this kind of drawing, pretty much. I'm wondering, what are you guys also drawing with me, or are you just watching? Usually when I follow other artists that they draw live, I like to draw also with them, and because it's quite calming seeing other people drawing, and also uh, it gets you inspired to draw. I wanted to I picked up this references because I wanted to also draw on some kind of accessories together with a pose, like a gun or like a sword. I think it's quite interesting that they are also having this kind of accessories. I hope my screen is quite big enough and you can all see what I'm drawing actually. So I'm wondering what time is it, and where are you actually joining from? It would be cool to find out for those that have joined.
So we have Germany.
Yes, we have Germany, of course. I'm also in Germany. Where are you joining from, guys?
Can you tell us about your process a little bit?
Ah, it's eight in the evening.
Oh.
Oh wow, that's quite late.
India. Alpha Nova Gaming.
What's the weather like in India? I saw some stories on Instagram that it's actually raining. I think this is too wide here. So the process with poses is pretty simple. I'm just doing some rough lines first, and then I will refine the sketch after.
Alpha Nova Gaming says, yeah, in some areas.
Mm.
But regarding rain.
And sometimes when I want to find out let's say I want to find out what's the angle of the shoulders or here, I'll just ghost my stylus over it, and then I will just go back to the sketch again and just do the same.
Alpha Nova Gaming, any advice for bigger artists like me? For bigger artists like me. Yeah.
For beginner artists. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. For beginner artists, when you mean advice for poses, or 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 what kind of advice you're looking for? Because general advice is kind of you know kind of the field is way big. Let's call it like this. Here, for example, there is this triangle here that I'm trying to recreate. That's why I've put this line here just to measure. And I know that the sword is like in the middle of your arm here somehow. This is where it ends.
For Alpha Nova Gaming, for portraits which you make, I love them and want to create like you. Aww.
Oh, thanks for the kind words. For portraits, I would say first of all try to start simple. I mean, start simple. What I would try to do for beginner artists is to try to avoid first of all going directly in drawing portraits of women, just because their features and their characteristics are like faded in terms of the structure of the face. So, for example, you have now like if you look at here, for example, here you can see where the cheekbone is here, but on the other side is very difficult to identify all the planes of the head, for example, just because all women are much more here, their skin is much more smooth and so on. So I would suggest first starting with men with strong with references with strong light, where you can see the differences between light and dark, so it can help you understand more the structure of the face. And then when you become more familiar with men, then you can go on with women. But always try to find references that they have clear light and dark areas. For example, like this one, you see there are clear. There is the clear light here. There is a light indication here. There are the highlights, and in this way, it's going to help you also. It's going to help you also learn instead of if you go for a photo or a reference that it's kind of more of a, let's say, studio light, then it's going to be more difficult um, to understand what's going on if you're more of a beginner. When you have a little bit more experience, then you can just approach more difficult references.
May I ask also how long have you been drawing?
I've been drawing now for how many years? For 5 years.
It was about the Alpha Nova gaming question. I would like to ask Alpha Nova, but it's okay. Seves Gaming, I would like to see live coloring tutorials and tips from you.
That's a cool idea. I will put it in the backlog for next tutorials. Sure.
And welcome.
Sounds like a good idea. So now I usually also try to flip my reference just to see if there are any mistakes. For example, I see this side seems to be a little bit more, for me, still a little bit more white. So I'll just grab all this now and try to bring it a little bit here. And also what I will do is I will try to zoom that much out and see, okay, am I close to what I'm doing? Because if you're zooming out so much, then you can you don't have to see any details pretty much, and you see the full picture, and somehow it helps you, for example. So let's just check it out. Seems to be okay. Maybe this foot needs to be a little bit something like that. That much more. And if I'm okay with the gesture, which is the stage, and I will just lower the opacity and try to make a better sketch over it. then I can zoom a little bit more now. But of course I need to add a layer. I forgot to add a layer.
Thanks. I follow your posts on Instagrams, which are so helpful, but I would like to see your workflow and how you manage the layers.
Um, yeah, usually the workflow pretty much it's I usually use a lot of layers. Some artists are actually using they're not using a lot of layers. It's just trying, to emulate the more traditional flow where you just have one layer and you paint over it and over it. But I usually use a lot of layers, like in sketching, like as you see now. I'm just having already two layers here. One layer was a very rough gesture layer, and then I'm lowering the opacity and trying to go over it. And now this time I will just try to do more details. And similar to this painting, it's also kind of more layers. So um, I'm gonna do a shadows layer, for example, separately. Then I'm gonna do a lights layer separately. But finally, towards the end of the painting, where I will start doing rendering and details, then I will start transitioning to more of a imagine more of a traditional way. I will just paint over and over on the same layer, trying to reach the final result. So the final would be only one layer. Unless it's kind of a big painting where it's a lot of elements, like not just characters, backgrounds, buildings, and so on. I will keep this in different layers. The buildings, for example. I like this reference because it's also very interesting the dress she was wearing.
It's an overall.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a catsuit.
It's a catsuit. My wife says it's a catsuit. Okay, I didn't know this. I don't know what a catsuit is.
Cool, thanks. Oh, thank you too.
Thank you. I think this is a little bit lower. So are you guys going to participate in the art challenge of the ferry? I'm really curious to find out if you're participating. I think maybe there is a delay.
Yes, there is.
Mm. Seems okay. To be okay.
Alpha Nova Gaming, you learn digital or traditional art first, and I want to become an artist like you. Where do I start, from digital or traditional art? That's a good question.
Um, yeah, I started as a traditional artist. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about this. I hope you get well soon, Sivas
Oh,
Gaming. Um, I started as a traditional artist and slowly transitioned to digital. But my suggestion would be, if you haven't started at all, maybe just start by by just grabbing a pencil and a sketchbook and doing some sketches there. And when you feel more comfortable with this, then transition to digital, because maybe transitioning a little bit to digital, if you haven't tried at all drawing, it would be a little bit difficult due to there is the disconnection effect with the technology. You're not sketching on a paper. It's not the same feeling, so it may be a little bit more difficult. But if you're already drawing traditionally, then I think it's quite okay to switch to digital. Anyways, the whole industry is in digital, right? So if you want to have a career in art, whether it's a studio or something else, then you would have to also draw digitally. Thanks for the question.
I'm an upcoming concert artist. I do more like cell shading style. I started doing semi-realistic style.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, cell shading is the first step to understand the form and so on. Yes, and then slowly. So pretty much the usually the path of all artists is they start with a more simplified way, then they go to more realism, trying to understand forms, perspective, light theory, and so on. And then when you have all the spaces, anatomy, for example, then you can go back to stylization, because then you know when and where you can break the rules, or bend the rules, if you know the underlying structure. Yeah, that's a good path that you're following. Yeah, sure. I just feel that this leg is going down and down and down, and it will end. It will reach the floor. I need to move it a little bit back up.
Tell us a little bit about your process. Ah.
A video. You mean here or on YouTube? Um, if it's a longer format, I don't know if I'm going to make a longer format video. Maybe I will do a video, a small reel about it, explaining my process, something similar like the one I did for the one I did for the drawing your style challenge. This character, the girl that I drew for this challenge. But the longer format, I don't think I'm gonna do it. It's just um, this is my I have also a day job, and it's quite difficult for me to do longer format videos. Pretty much, it's requiring a lot of time, a lot of editing, and so on. That's why my idea for YouTube, at least this time, was to do a kind of a live, because it's a format where you can see me drawing, see my process, and at the same time I can give you this information without doing on top hours and hours of editing to produce a longer format video, because for me it doesn't make sense that I just record something without any comments, any commentary, and just upload it there, unless you want to see something like that. Um, Unless you want to see longer format videos without commentary, like a time lapse.
Savage Gaming, your recent comic shading and different characters post on Instagram was too good, which made me to draw some comic characters.
Thanks so much. Thank you. It was actually a study of the style of Frank Frazetta, which is he's a very well-known artist in drawing comic book characters. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2010, but he's very influential. Like if you have seen comics about Flash Gordon or about Vampirella, I think Dark Horse Comics, he's the guy that actually drew these characters, and he's completely influential for the industry. He has a very unique style, which is about hatching and cross-hatching, and how he uses the silhouettes to say stories. He's one of the great masters, in my opinion, in the comic art style. Yeah, and also his paintings are quite let's say unique. You quickly see if you see a painting of his, you quickly realize that it's his painting because of the style of the bodies and the anatomy. What happened to the music? It stopped. Usually, I also hear music when I'm drawing, but because I don't want to get flagged here in YouTube, I just have it very low. Do you guys listen to music when you're drawing, or you prefer total silence?
Alpha Nova Gaming, which method is best to start portrait? Andrew Loomis or Reilly Method?
I would say Loomis is better because it's a little bit more closer to beginners, and also it's you can find more sources about it, pretty much. So the Reilly method is a method that actually goes more in the rhythms of the face, and it's difficult to apply the rhythms because faces are quite different to each other, and that's why it's a little bit more complicated to start with. I would just go with the Loomis method. But even before this, I would go with a method of, there are so many different methods to you know, to make yourself more experienced in seeing portraits. For example, like let's say I'm seeing here right now, then I see, okay, I see first the angles. Like I don't think about, oh, am I following Loomis method or I'm following this other method. So I see the angles of the face. You can just do this and then, okay, there's an angle here, there's an angle here, there's an angle that goes like this on the right side. Okay, there is also this one. Then it goes like this. Then it goes like this. Then you have the hair around. Then the eyes have this kind of perspective. Then there's the nose line. Then there is the mouth line where you can measure, okay, the mouth from the edge here is on the, there's a line coming here, and slowly by understanding these angles and the way you can actually uh, uh, have a very rough, let's say a very rough angle shaped structure that you can go over it and then apply the Loomis method, you can become faster in learning the different portraits and drawing the different portraits. Simply by just, you know, making a circle and, okay, understanding this perspective and so on, it will be very difficult at first. At least it was for me very difficult to just jump into a specific method and say I'm just using this method only to actually understand and paint and paint faces. Because first you need to, you know, to train your eyes and hands to work together. So you have to train your eye to see the angles of the eyebrows, like this one or this one, and then go and apply a specific method. I hope this helps.
Savage Gaming says to your question before, I study different number of artists where I pick some of their methods from every artist. I experiment and finally come up with my own method.
Yeah, pretty much eventually you will come up with your own method. Yeah, you will be using basic methods like the Andrew Loomis, or which is pretty much the same, that the face is being divided in three different areas, for example. So this three should be somehow equal, like this, right? But it doesn't mean that all the faces have these areas equal. It can be that some faces have this area smaller, or it's more wide, and so on. So I think observation is key. First, you need to increase the observation, and then slowly go for a method.
Alpha Nova Gaming, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try to do this one.
Maybe let's ask them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Which one do you want to try, guys, from this three?
1, 2, or 3.
That's 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, exactly. Yes, service gaming observation can only be improved by doing hours of practice. Yes, you need to observe one. Okay, cool. Yeah, you need to observe a lot and not just when you're drawing.
Sorry too.
True. Okay. Okay, then we do too.
Crouch pose. Well, that's a no. Weird position to hold the gun.
So usually in all the poses, I almost never start with the head. That's
Why?
because like the head usually is in the middle of nowhere, and here you're in no man's land. Like, okay, how do I know if I am putting the head correctly here? Like maybe it's here, maybe it's here, maybe it's here. But I know, and what I see is that here leg is almost to the edge, to the edge of the canvas. Of course, my canvas is a little bit more wide, so I can just move it a little bit here. And then I can just say, okay, up to this, like I'm seeing now up to this height here, I have the leg coming up and then somehow going down, like in this, somewhere like here. And I'm just not trying to draw contouring now, right? I'm not trying to draw around the leg or so on. I'm just, creating kind of a stickman figure to understand what's the angles of the different limbs and so on. And as you see, I'm usually like zoomed out a lot because I need to see the whole picture. And then I have exactly the other leg somewhere around here. Maybe the angle is something like that. And the other leg is just coming down. And then you have here feet and the and the shoe after this. And then the her body, as you can see, is like she's like a C. She has us like a C angle here, like a C. And now I can calculate and say, okay, the head is somewhere in the middle of this leg and somewhere in the middle of the leg, but it's probably towards, this side of the leg. So you can just put a line here that indicates, okay, maybe the head is around here, so I can just have an angle and say the C angle would be something like that with one swoop. So I've got the main now gesture down. So I can say, okay, all right, then we have this, then we have another C here, then a straight line. And I have the shoe coming like this.
So that's step 1. Step 2. What's step 2 for you?
Step 2.
Hmm.
Step 2 is refining all the stuff.
Ah.
Step 2 is always refining. Pretty much you, like whatever you do, you know, for example, that your first line will never be the correct one, right? Because it's like you try it out and then you correct it. That's the whole idea. You know that your first line is probably always going to be wrong.
It's like the first pancake that you make. It's always
The
the
first
sloppy
pancake.
one. Yes.
And the second thing is that helps me is that I see this uh, kind of let's say square here that gets created by the hand, and somewhere like this, something like that. So I know that it's going inside. And then there is this line here, and then there is the hand going outside again. And then if I draw a line here, I will reach the other hand, pretty much, which is like somewhere around here. Maybe this, maybe that was too. So here it goes a little bit more outside this. And we have the gun here that goes like this. And we have what I think that's the bullet cartridge here. I have no idea about guns. And at this stage, as you see, I don't do anything like I'm not going and defining any fingers or any other anatomy. I'm just looking at the general shapes and gesture of the body. Like I know this, I just want to know that this angle is ending up like on the knee, somewhere at the knee, for example, and somewhere like here, like the same. It's almost the same as the other one, a little bit higher. So we'll just define it with a shape like that. and then I can just I see this is somewhere in the middle. So if I go in the middle here, and then I can create the other part. But maybe here it's a little bit, I can just turn it a little bit here, just to show the shoulder here, and show the gun. And there is also this device over it. I know that here is somewhere there, and that is looking like this. So this should be the other plane of the head. Here should be this turning point here, and then I know that here nose should be somewhere around here, but doesn't really matter at this stage exactly. Let's refine a little bit the stuff. I'm just trying to put down some shapes for the dress. So then let me flip it and see if we're quite okay. Again, I think we are a little bit too wide. Every artist has a different tendency
What do you mean?
to do mistakes. I tend to do stuff too wide than they should be.
Alpha Nova Gaming, which drone tablet are you using?
I'm using a Wacom Cintiq 16-inch, which I bought years ago. Ideally, many tablets from different companies should be good enough. For example, also XP Pen is doing some great stuff with their tablets and so on. So they are catching up pretty much. So I wouldn't worry as long as it has 8,000 points of pressure, and I think you should be good enough to actually use it.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, at the moment I'm fine with it. I think this leg needs to come up a little bit higher, and the whole hand. Let's correct a little bit the face. So the face should be coming like this. We should have something like that. And then the jaw is like that. That should be the hand here. Alright, let's take a look. I think this whole thing should come more outside. I think it's time to drop the opacity and do a more clean thing for this. It's just just do a more clean sketch. Oops, what happened? Okay. Just let me sip a little bit coffee. And let's do a little bit more of a cleaner sketch.
Let me ask you a question. What kind of characters do you like to draw?
What kind of characters?
Mm-hmm.
I think I like more fantasy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, like knights, like wizards or like dragons.
Ah.
But usually I don't draw them. I don't know why. I think that should be high actually. Do you guys want to draw? You like drawing characters, or you are into backgrounds? I think in the future I will try backgrounds.
Why?
Um, I just want to learn more.
Service gaming says characters.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
people like characters, yes.
Yeah, and also me, that I don't draw. I like characters. I like seeing characters as well.
You like seeing characters, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah, I think people are more inclined to, or more interested to see something that is more human-like than.
Alpha Nova Gaming. Currently, I draw lots of faces from every angle. Wow.
That's a very good practice. Yeah, that's a good practice. Yeah, I did also a lot of this in the past. I think Ahmed Al-Duri has a challenge of drawing 100 faces in 1 month. I think something like that, where you choose your own references, but you just draw as many faces as possible, pretty much. That's a very interesting shoe here. This way. I don't know how you could.
Also to walk in it.
Yeah, I don't know how you could walk with the shoes. Actually, this pose is also very interesting because of the perspective actually, and where you can see, you see the whole under under part of the body, because the camera is like, it's we are sitting here kind of, so the horizon is like something like very low, like here, something somewhere here, pretty much somewhere where the light also changes here, and that's why we can see we are just standing below here, pretty much. I'm not good at guns at all. I always mess up the guns.
Maybe you should, instead of what Alpha Nova Gaming is doing with the faces, you should throw guns from every angle.
Yeah,
Practice.
yeah. I need to practice guns.
Yeah, Service Gaming says, yeah, almost like foreshortening.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of overlap here and for shortening for sure. Yeah, that's a crap line. Are you planning anything interesting for the weekend, guys? For the rest of the weekend, actually, because it's here Sunday.
Service Gaming, can we expect tutorials on paint, shadows, and light?
Yes, yes. I've done a few tutorials already, but yeah, I'm planning to do a lot more. Many people have asked me also how to do um, how to go from grayscale to color, this kind of tutorials. So I'm planning to do this kind of tutorials also. Yeah. Do you have something specific in mind that you would like to see?
Um, that would be so helpful. There was a reply.
Cool.
Same grayscale to color.
Yeah, that's something that people are asking a lot. Yeah, I plan to do something like this. All right. Maybe this should be bigger, but I think it's fine. I just do it a little bit bigger, just for their perspective's sake. All right. I think, how much time are we now? 6:17. So shall we do one final one? Yeah, let's do one final one. Maybe a quick one. Let's do this one. So I think the important thing for this one is like to set up correctly the. She has a very cool pose because her shoulders are almost completely the opposite side as her pelvis here. So it creates this S. This S. Okay. Sometimes you don't get the correct line. So you have this side here going like this, and here leg going like this, and this leg is more like a straight one. Then you have her body being pretty much on this side, having the middle here, this leg coming here, and this leg going down. Then you have somewhere here, the dress coming like this, and you have this creating this one, and this one, and then you have the shoulder coming like this, and the hand doing like that, holding the gun. That's a very spy-like pose. How was she called in the Avengers? The Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
I mean, she was not fighting in those shoes.
Yeah. The shoes were more comfortable. Yeah, for example, now I'm just looking at the angles of the face. I'm just not thinking about, you know, Reilly
Loomis.
or Loomis or any other method. I'm just seeing the body and I'm just seeing the angles here and just drawing like that. That should be higher. And I should the hand would be coming like this. No, that's too high. Let's see what we did. I think this one should be, we have to balance it a little bit more by just moving it. No, let's just do it maybe with this one. Yeah, like this one. Yeah. Yeah, we just need to balance the pose a little bit more because if you draw a line like here, like a straight line, let's just zoom a little bit just to show you. If you draw a line like here, it should pass right through the middle, because if you do it like that, you see it passes through the middle of your face and this creates the balance. So if we do it like that, it should pass somehow also from the middle of the face for us. So we just gonna grab all this stuff and bring it even here and even here, just to create a more balanced pose. Or else she would seem that she is falling.
Actually, it looks really good perspective of this pose.
It's good.
Yeah, I like it. I think
You like it?
it's
Okay. Yeah, the face is straight like this.
and it helps you with your gun practice because he's holding two.
Yeah, just holding two guns. So let's lower the opacity, make this blue, lower it a little bit more, and then we can zoom in and let's do the guns. think this is a little bit lower. And then it goes like this. And then that's a weird thing happening with a dress here, but it's okay. We have here, we have the clavicle, and we have hair neck, and we have here the face, again like this. We have this here, and here it's the here obliques pretty much, and then the leg is starting. And there's the dress here, and then it's the further part of the leg. Just to sip a little bit coffee before moving forward. And we have this leg coming like this, creating this S line. And then we have, please zoom in to get this line here. We have here this, doing this. This leg comes in front of this, so this leg is back. This is the front leg. And then we have here the knee, and we have kind of this bone coming here in front. Then we have the shoe, and let's go for the gun. Which is more like, it's more like it's turned towards the back, because if you see, like, all these areas are so, and then we have this, and then we have the way, the probably something to see further, I don't know. Yeah, and then that's the pose. All right, that's also done, and I think we have 3 now. That was a good practice for today. We have this one, we have this one, and we have this one. Awesome. All right, guys, I think I had enough practice for today for poses. Thank you so much for joining this live. I hope you liked it, and I hope it was also entertaining, and maybe also for some of you, maybe you had some questions answered, and I also had fun, drawing live with you.
Me too.
And my wife says me too. So thank you everybody for joining. I'll say goodbye, and I will say to you that you should have a wonderful rest of the day, whatever you do. And of course, I will see you back on Instagram in my next post. Looking forward to everybody participating in the art competition. And again, thank you for joining this live. Thank you very much. See you guys.
Bye.